Special thanks to TheMcgreevy and Puurzout for the idea of this video. As a matter of fact, this is my attempt at recreating TheMcgreevy's video, but I do so with a slightly different strategy. His video is great and is worth a watch. This scenario comes from a Reddit post by Puurzout titled, "Safe My Save Game." The post reads, "Hello friends of Age of Empires 2. Can you save my save game? This is moments before disaster. I've come a long way, but I'm just not skilled enough to make it. Can anyone else? I am playing Byzantines. I am behind in upgrades, and my villager count is not ideal. Can you help me? Also, feel free to give advice on the situation." The replies are also not so optimistic. Imagine you are a bear falling into a human trap, and your save game is the moment before disaster. But in reality, you were done by the time you're in the trap. You also made more mistakes by struggling with the trap, losing strength and endurance. Now you're about to be butchered. This is literally the same. The opponent has better eco, 4 town centers, 154 villagers. Fully developed versus you with 2 town centers and 63 villagers. Underdeveloped eco, trash units, low on wood, double the score. This is bad on many levels. There's nothing left to save. What is the goal you want to make? This is how our food feels before they are getting butchered. Says our friend Kaisereno. Lord Rubbish says, versus the AI? What difficulty? Extreme might be too difficult. The others might be doable for someone very good. Well, as a matter of fact, good friend Lord Rubbish, this is the extreme AI. Included in his post is a download link to an Age of Empires save game file. Looking at the save, we can see a few things. What jumps out immediately is population limit of 500, the maximum allowed in the base game without any mods. We also see that cheats are not allowed. So even if you want to pretend you won this scenario, you would need to do it legitimately. Fortunately, everything else is set to standard competitive gameplay. Normal game speed, conquest victory, and a Dark Age start. If we load the map up, we are greeted by 19 villagers, who were just pulled from wood in order to build a defensive castle in our base on Amazon Tunnel. Our civ of choice is Byzantines, and we are facing up against the Bengalis. We have 63 villagers. We are close to being pop-capped. Next, 18 skirmishers in queue from 2 archery ranges in the central choke point. It also appears that a monastery was just erected, and we've walled off the front and the back of the choke point. Clicking on our units, we see that our spearmen have forging at least, but no other blacksmith upgrades have been researched. We have no university, no stable. 11 of our villagers are on stone. We're floating 3,000 food, 2,000 gold, and are low on wood. At least we have researched loom and wheelbarrow. Looks like we have been researching our ecotechs at least as well, with bowsaw, heavy plow, and golden stone mining all researched. And if you haven't seen it yet, the most important part of all this. We are in the Castle Age on a closed map at 37 minutes, and our opponent, an extreme AI whose script allows it to train up to 205 villagers, is in the Imperial Age with more than double our score. And I'll be honest, this does not look like a serviceable defense. What we do have are lots of pointy sticks, some for throwing, some for thrusting at horses. An enemy skirmisher looks on from the distance, possibly laughing at this meager hill fort. Now, here is the challenge. Can you save this save game? In my opinion, this is one of the most fun scenarios I've ever played. It's like your younger brother realizing something bad is about to happen in his game. He hands you the controller. Problem is, your character's at 10 hit points, and the boss is about to unleash a full combo at you that you've never seen before. Good luck. Now, a bit of sad news. I did not record my first attempt, in which I beat the scenario at game time 1 hour, 24 minutes, and 31 seconds. Fortunately, that means I get to do this again, this time with a recording of my gameplay. Alright, we start the game up, and I've got a few priorities. First, secure the relics. This middle will not stand very long. The full might of the Bengalis is knocking on our door here. 2. Get to the Imperial Age, so we can get important techs, including chemistry. 3. Boom. We are sorely behind on villagers. If we pull this game up in Capture Age, we see that our opponent has gathered about 20,000 more resources than we have. And the problem will only compound as long as we are behind on villagers. We have a lot of catching up to do. And finally, wall. I need to research fortified wall to make each one just that extra bit tankier, and I need to make many stone walls to give me the time to do the catching up I desperately need. With 4 town centers thrown down, we will have 6 town center production. That should be enough to play some catch up. But before they all can go up, we are down 100 villagers. I know, I checked in Capture Age. If you're down that many vills in an online game and playing on, I would be surprised if the opponent has not hit you with the old 105. Pretty quickly, a formidable force is battering down the walls that we started with. Onagers, Wrath, Battle Elephants, Skirms, all arrive like that scene in 300. In the back of our base, tranquil farming. In the front, carnage! Now, the enemy won't stop producing units until I've destroyed all of its production buildings. It simply will not stop. And of the hundreds of thousands of resources that will be collected by the opponent, the AI never goes above 500 of food, wood, or gold. That is how incessant the spam will be. Space is a huge issue for us. We need an economy for 300 villagers, but there really is not room for that many farms, production buildings, houses, etc. Houses are especially difficult as we need nearly 100 houses to reach our population cap of 500. So, we researched 2-man saw and we get chopping. Now, many people will say this unit or that unit is overpowered, but I say bombard cannons are overpowered. Well, maybe not. They're expensive. With the space in front of them, nothing stands in their way. This is why I've been favoring playing civs with bombard cannon. It's such a powerful unit. Obviously this is true because of its hefty price tag as the most expensive unit in the game. And bombards do not care about your feelings. They will flatten any unit that gets in the way. I get up some walls with 300,000 hit points, but I still fear it may not be enough, as I'm going to be blasting some of my own walls unintentionally with the bombards. I add a second layer of thick walls down, which will be enough to catch up in those in the military. I hope. These bombards will take care of all the gold units that the enemy sends at us. Fortunately for us, the enemy will eventually give up on producing gold units. It's a good thing we grabbed those relics to begin. Once we see that the opponent has thrown away all its gold and cannot keep up with gold unit production, it is time to press forward. All walls deleted, and with nothing but an army of men with pointy items and dudes pushing giant cannons with an infinite supply of cannonballs, we move forward. There are some hiccups, but this will be enough to crush everything in our way. Very quickly, the opponent is out of production buildings. No more castles, archery ranges, stables, barracks, and anything that gets produced. Well, there's an army of angry men who will no longer tolerate being called trash, and 40 big guns. With the town centers crumbling beneath them, and with my men poking everything that stands before them, the opponent finally taps out. This gunpowder stuff sure is powerful, and we're lucky that our opponent does not have that option. Now, dear viewer, I ask you to take on this challenge. See if you can beat my time. This is, and should be, considered a classic defensive scenario. One of those challenges that really would push your APM to its limits, managing everything. This was truly a fun experience, and I hope you enjoyed both this video and will enjoy the scenario. Once again, a big thanks to Puurzout and TheMcgreevy for the inspiration of this video. I hope you have a great rest of your day, or evening, whatever.